the player that, a lot of people might be considering starting on the Giants side is wide receiver Darius Slayton. He's been a monster over, last game he had a great game. Over the past 4 weeks, he's been averaging nearly 10 targets a game. He's playing a cushy matchup as Miami's been giving up the third most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers over the year. And typically it's the wide receiver on the perimeter, which is where Darius Slayton goes, right? He likes to catch those deeper throws. So, with the win risk here, I'm a little worried. We don't have any sample size on Darius Slayton, but we do have a sample size in Eli Manning.
And I apologize, but okay, that's what I was going to say. Be nice to me. I was going to say, is Eli playing this week? And I think he is.
Yeah, it looks like Eli is trending toward playing. And Eli, he's been in the league since 2004, so around 15 years. So we have a good enough sample size on Eli in windy matchups. And this seems to be more on the extreme side of windy, again, with 20 plus and then gusts 30 plus. And his yards per game is down around 40 yards when there's wind. It's only around 200 yards per game when there is wind. And the big thing, Mike and I were talking about this before we started shooting, was his touchdown, the number of touchdowns he throws per game in windy conditions is very much down compared to his career average. And also his completion percentage is down a few points as well at around 56%. So what I did is I said, well, let's try to come up with a corollary here, because I agreed with Mike, like, hey, Darius Slayton is probably the guy that most people want to start. And I looked at Sterling Shepard. He's been in the league since 2015 or 16. So he has at least some games with Eli in these windy conditions. And his yards per reception are down. They're around 9.5 when he's usually up around 11. So that may not seem as significant, but in 8 games, he only had 1 touchdown. So that's just a testament again to Eli struggling a little bit and getting the ball downfield potentially and getting it in the end zone when there is some wind.
Yeah, I think the biggest statistic to me that stood out, in the windy games that Eli's played, which the sample size is quite large, 41 games. So this is not a non-significant number. His career QBR rating is 84.1. In those windy games, it drops to 76. So, I think here there's a significant risk on that on the wind here for Eli in a cushy matchup, and this is going at risk translates to guys like Darius Slayton. So in DFS, you might feel okay in one of your lineups trying to throw that that Darius Slayton dart out there, but in your redraft leagues where this is your this is it to get into the championship. Right. Are you putting in Slayton?
That's a tough one for me right now. I don't know how much confidence I have based on his DFS value. The Miami Dolphins, they're a porous defense, but they have been starting to get it together and play a little bit better over the second half of the season. I worry about Eli in these games, and I think it's the risk factor is definitely higher with these. Look at the last 2 weeks. Look at how these top or supposedly top wide receiver performers did under these extreme windy conditions. And when we see that quarterbacks are affected by the wind, wide receivers are as well. So that's not to say that, hey, Slayton's not going to have the opportunity or maybe get the targets. It's just how efficient he's going to be. Is this going to be a 7-catch, 95 yards, 2 TD performance, or is it going to be 5 or 6 catches for 50 yards?
Right. Yep. That for me, I'm staying away from Giants players in this matchup. I'm staying away from Miami Dolphins unless we hear some good news out on the Miami Dolphin front.
Yeah,
their star wide receiver, right? Because he's in a concussion protocol right now.
He is, and right now he's been practicing at least for most of the week here. The coaches are saying he's trending toward playing. We know that sometimes works out, but it's looking more likely than not he's going to play. And the other thing is, quite frankly, we're looking at Ryan Fitzpatrick and how does he perform in windy situations. And he doesn't seem to be affected at all. He seems to perform as well in the wind as he does anywhere.
Right. Well, Jets, Buffalo on his resume. He's used to playing in.
Yeah, he's used to playing in these weather conditions. Yeah. And he's a gunslinger anyway. He'll throw the ball anywhere and try to make plays downfield.
Weather doesn't matter for him.
It doesn't matter to him. It doesn't. And if it's a hard call though, if you do have Devontae Parker playing, is Ryan Fitzpatrick a streaming option, and given that the Giants are so poor in the secondary, because that's where people are looking to stream DFS leagues. How do we pick up a quality, a quarterback, low value. And Ryan Fitzpatrick may be the way people are going. And just to let you know, we don't see any corollary between Wind and Fitzpatrick. And so, I would be playing, if I was in the playoffs right now, I'd be playing Parker in this situation if he was healthy and a good.
In redraft playoffs, you're talking about.
In redraft, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah, and in DFS, I just wanted to mention Fitzpatrick's price because I think it was pretty. It was pretty good priced. Of course, now I can't find it. So I just want to mention on him. I'm a little nervous about Fitzpatrick. I mean, I know that the statistics don't show, but to play, he's 6,200 on DFS.
Okay, that's close. Yeah.
I don't have Fitzpatrick in any of my DFS leagues because I don't know about Parker. I want to hear Parker playing, but then I would maybe adjust my leagues. But since Parker right now is in the concussion protocol, it's enough for me to spook me out of the Fitzpatrick play.
What if he is playing? How do you feel about that play? Because we saw what he did against a lackluster Philly defense. They ended up winning that game.
You take the shot, or 6,200.
Yeah. Would you take that shot?
I think
so.
So
for me, I'm not. And there's one reason why, and it's not anything to do against Fitzmagic. I'm worried in the sense that, actually, you know what you said? The question was if he does play.
Yeah, if Devontae Parker plays,
and he's good to go.
You take Fitzpatrick at 6,200.
Yes. So the reason why, okay, sorry, I lost my train of thought. I'm back to it now, guys. I'm good. The reason why I'm not is because I want to have the stud running backs this week. I want McCaffrey, I want Carson, and I want Derrick Henry as my running backs for DFS. And with Fitzpatrick's pricing at 6,200, I can't afford him. So I'm dropping it down to guys in the 5,000s. So I'm taking risks like with Kyler Murray. And even, if I do want to spend up on a quarterback, I'm actually going with Tannehill. So that's the reason why I haven't gone with Fitzpatrick. I need to fit in those other guys. That's
more of a DFS play, though. If you had Tannehill and Fitzpatrick in your redraft league, who would you play?
You're not in the playoffs if you have that situation.
Well, hypothetically, right? People may be trying to stream. People may be in the playoffs that are streaming quarterbs. Who would you play?
Next week if they have Lamar Jackson, though. So,
right. This is them next week. Try to figure this out. Yeah. Oh man. So I probably would play Fitzmagic. Yeah, I probably would. I mean, I think that they're playing Houston.
Okay.
But he has been so good. It's tough. I feel like I'm just surprised Tannehill is playing this well. He got
better system.
Maybe it's a better system. Maybe
I don't think he played bad in his first couple years at Miami.
Yeah,
it was just a bad team with bad coaching. I mean, all around they didn't get all they could out of their players. Now he's in a situation. He's in a fundamentally sound offensive system that they set up to make him thrive in. He's got some good wide receivers.
Yeah, he's around
that's emerging.
But I mean, the thing is, it's a run-first team. I would go with Fitzmagic just based off the volume because they're not going to hand Patrick Laird 30 rushes. They're not going to do it. They're going to have the game relying on Fitzpatrick.
I would agree.
Go with the volume.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. Okay, let's move off of this game and let's talk about some of the. Unless you have anything else you want to finish up on this game.
Nope. I think we're good there. I think the main players you're looking at are Fitzpatrick, Devontae Parker, and then Darius Slayton, and we covered them. So
okay.
You're obviously playing. I mean, if you're in the playoffs and you have Saquon, play him. You're obviously playing him, but that's the only other fantasy relevant players I'm looking at.